Okay. Get some fresh water. Oh, fresh water right here. Don't have to go anywhere. The water's right here. Okay, we on live? Are we on live yet? Okay, we're live again. Okay, we're live on Facebook, and we're coming live on DLive and YouTube. Who knows? Okay, so yeah, I just had to step away for a minute. Needed to take a quick little break. Every once in a while, I get the ringing in my head gets a little too loud, and it starts freaking me out, and I kind of have to just get to a place where I'm just like, okay, everything's cool. I'm not gonna lose my mind because it's so freaking loud. This is why I don't even like taking the TT or the, for those who are not from Toronto, I don't like taking the subway and the bus now, because when I start noises in general make it hard, and I don't want to get stuck in a place where I can't escape. It's very frustrating sometimes. Actually, this is good. This is a nice. I just created an interesting gray. That's cool. It's like this peach color mixed with something else. So I think I'll use it on the trees a bit. Yeah, because the trees need some texture too. They need some stuff on them to bring them to life. I haven't spent enough time on them. Time to dance. Here comes John. I know that's John. Time to dance. Well, John, here's the thing. I started this painting off this morning, and before I knew it, it was the world's worst, most disgusting mess of a painting a human being could possibly create. Not even sentient AI could create something so bad. So I'm attempting to turn it into something less likely to cause convulsions and shock. And that's what I'm doing right now. Trying to turn a horrible mess into something that may not be catastrophically vomitorious. My goal is to create a landscape that has this not honest, just feeling like some of the Gustav Klimt's landscapes just get me at a gut level. You don't need an art degree to just know that there's something special going on. That's really my goal, is to, if I can make artwork that gets you at a level, and you just know, you don't, let me tell you something. I was on Instagram looking at some, because I was subscribed to a couple contemporary art, whatever fucking bullshit that thread is called. And today there's a woman, Miriam something, I can't remember her name, and literally she had painted a monkey or gorilla face with a body with a vagina that was huge and red, it was almost like a glowing red vagina and a monkey face. And I'm thinking, Jesus fucking Christ, come on. It's easy to do that stuff. It takes no soul. I'm not saying even technically it's not that hard, but it's more it feels like it's lazy. It feels like, do you I don't know. It's something really bugs me about it. That's why I like things that I'm drawn to paintings. I'm drawn to paintings by people who I think who've mastered their craft, and have created something original, and it can be beautiful or it can be disturbing, doesn't matter, but you can feel a sense of like, okay, I know what it is. I know what it is. If you ever watch an athlete, like a top tier athlete, perform, and they do something that you're just like, wow. You would recognize that. Like I don't know anything about gymnastics. You know when they do the flip-flopping, jumpity jump? In fact, my cousin was going to go to the Olympics doing that flippity-flop jumping thing when she was younger, but she blew her knee out. Anyhow, I don't know anything about it. I couldn't tell you what was the right move or what is the name of a single thing. But when you see them and you see it do that to a perfection, you just sort of go, wow, that's incredible. For example, I hate figure skating. That is like figure skating, baseball are the most boring goddamn things I can imagine. But when I see something happen that's really like, I can appreciate it, right? I can sit there and go, wow, a human being did that. That's my ultimate goal. Is like, I'll give you an example. Lucian Freud. I actually don't stare at Lucian Freud's work. It's almost like I know that I'm looking at someone who has mastered something. Lucian Freud was, I'm pretty sure was Sigmund Freud's like grandson or something, but this guy was an amazing, he might be still alive, he might not, an amazing figurative painter. And he had a certain way of doing brushstrokes that were thick and chunky together, and you would always know this particular artist. And today, our lazy version of Lucian Freud is this woman named Jenny Saville, and she has a very good painting style, but all she does are, well, not all she does, but she's known for doing like women who are kind of sexualized but also dead. Like they're all bloody and pulp, and their eyes are staring off in space like a corpse. And it's like, oh, Christ, I can just see some edgy art critic go, oh, can't you just feel the morbidity in life has lost her, from her soul. It's like, oh, fuck off. She's a good painter. She is a good painter. She's got that. But I feel like it's marketing and it's like gimmicky. And as good as Jenny Saville is, I know how she started. What happened was Saatchi, the famous art dealer guy, saw her at art school and told her, you're only going to do 6 paintings this year, and I'm going to sell them for $100,000 each. And because the guy was so connected, that's how he launched her career. She was nobody till Saatchi said, you just do 6 paintings, $100,000 each, and that was it. So ever since, Jenny Saville becomes a name in the art world, and I don't really fucking follow the art world because I just can't stand people who are pretentious. It makes me just like, I just roll my eyes. Like, I've met world leaders. I fucking bear hugged the head of the KGB and danced with his wife. I've done some shit. Excuse me. I've done some stuff. Met some people, and I'll tell you, the most powerful people in the world are some of the most down to earth people. It's only the power hungry people, the people who are on the way up, who are the ones you watch for. Great example. I used to do martial arts, and the people the most dangerous are the people who just got their black belt. Oh, you don't know Klimt? You sound like you're Jewish. Hey, I don't know from Klimt. What? Hey, I'm Jewish. I can make fun of a Jewish voice. I don't know from Klimt. You gotta know Klimt, John. Klimt, Gustav Klimt. You know him. He's the guy who did The Kiss. Very famous for his figurative design stuff. But I found the landscapes are just gorgeous. Anyhow, but back to the black belt thing. One thing I learned was people who just get their first black belt are the most dangerous because they just know enough to cause damage, but they don't know how to control it. And it's the ones who are truly the masters, like the 6th Degree Dan, who are they are the ones that you should be looking for. So I've met a couple 6th Degree Dan human beings, like world leaders. Real world leaders, and I'm not talking politicians. Fuck all politicians. Although I have known a couple people who are, at least in the Canadian government, who are as close to prime minister as you can get. And I like that guy, but he's still a bit of a phony fucker. Even though he's a nice guy, he's still a political. Like, he talks like a politician. Fucking anyway. But the other people who are like more leaders in the real world, I'd say, call them. They're down to earth, man. Down to earth, and just like there's reason why they're leaders. And I'm not talking about people who are psychopaths who get ahead. I'm talking about people who just have that magic charisma that allows them to to make things happen with people. I think that's their secret skill, is that they know how to work with people to make things happen, to make deals. And I've seen some pretty amazing stuff, man. And it's mostly through my family. Mostly my family knows people, and just being around parties and getting an opportunity to meet some of these people in a setting where it wasn't like, I was just there because I was just a kid, but I got to meet them. Like that time when I met the former KGB, was at a friend's family, and they had it was like, well, I don't want to out the person, but someone who knows, is very, very well known in business in Canada. It's like probably one of the most famous person in Canada for business. And I was at their house, and he knew a lot of he knew Gorbachev really well and shit. And then the KGB dude, who was the former KGB. So it was like, apparently during the good times, but it was kind of funny because I was probably about 17, and I did a shot with him, and we went like this, arms like this, and we did a shot of vodka, and I said, "I dance with your wife." His wife is like 50 years old, this big Russian woman, and I did a couple spins with her. Fuck, that was so funny. Oh, God damn it. Most of my life is very boring, with a few moments of pretty hilarious encounters, let's just say. Hey, Donna. Okay, so this thing's still a stinker. I need to smarten up. It's still a horrible mess, isn't it? Things are just bleeding out to this big garbagey pile. I just don't like the pink. Anything but the pink. Let's try... why am I drawn to making it lighter at the top? I don't know why. Is it the right thing to do? Let's just bring it in a couple. Oh. Excuse me. Wow. Oh man, I wonder what the hell I'm saying sometimes. It's like... KGB. It was like former. I think it was even before KGB. It was like some sort of SBS or something. But apparently he wasn't one of the really bad guys. He was one of the good guys that worked for Gorbachev. Something like that. I'm pretty sure it was Gorbachev. During Glasnost. You know, the irony is, like, when I was in my 20s, it was all about becoming friends with Russia back then. Like, Sting was singing songs, like, about the Russians love their children, too, because we were, like, ending the Cold War. So it's a little... And I remember my brother was part of this expedition to the Arctic, where it was the first time Canadians and Russians got together. And my brother was the doctor on this expedition. And so it was the first time Russians had come to Canada as a group. And we hosted them at my parents' house. And I remember I was I don't know how old. I was probably about 20. And everyone got shit-faced. And What I remember was I took one of the guys, one of the Russian dudes, to 7-Eleven, and it blew his mind. He was looking at all the packs of gums like he couldn't believe it. It was a pretty cool experience. That anyhow, just right now with all the people freaking about Russia, I'm like, guys, don't you remember just like 15 years ago we were trying our best to be friends with Russians because for so long we were always like at the brink of nuclear war. So everyone was like, you know what? Let's just try to get along, guys. You know, the Russians love their children too. That was actually Sting's song, and that was like the revelation because we were always told that the Russians were so evil, like because of the Cold War. And you being just a regular civilian, you're like caught in the middle, going, I don't know what is going on here. What? Most of that stuff you gotta understand is propaganda. It's part of the big game of chess. It's the big game. I know some people in the big game of geopolitics and power, and you know, I know a couple guys do stuff there. Fucking those think tanks and shit, and I can tell you, they don't know anything more. Most of them are just for their own personal power and gain. It's a dangerous world, that chess. I'm talking about like the Kissinger level stuff, where real policies made, where real decisions to go to war are made. That's some. I never want to be involved with that, because the problem is that's where the psychopaths thrive. People who you should never trust someone who wants to be a politician. I think we should have a rule where if you're a politician, you shouldn't want to do it. You should be forced to do it. Generic Russians aren't evil. They're actually really welcoming to swiping power. Yeah, for sure. Totally. That's like that everywhere in the world. People are awesome. Everywhere I've been, people are freaking awesome. It's just people who are in positions of power tend to rise up because they're assholes. And they shouldn't be there. Especially politicians and lawyers and cops and teachers. They tend to be, there's quite a few disproportionate amount of literal psychopaths. And psychopaths, by the way, aren't murderers necessarily, just people without conscience. I have met and worked with a few literal psychopaths. And I don't think one of the guy has a family and kids. And I wouldn't trust him at even in the slightest bit, knowing what he can do. And that's usually why they get ahead, because they have no problems doing whatever it takes. They just feel no guilt whatsoever doing something like backstabbing somebody. No guilt, like zero whatsoever. And lots of corporations, like when I worked at Bell Canada, there's a couple guys that I would not be surprised if they were clinically psychopathic, meaning that they were like these just corporate backstabbing, soulless, vacuous, I can't just yucky people. Just like all they cared about was becoming senior vice president, and then whatever the fuck happens after senior vice president at a telco. Like, what else do you do? Where do you go from there? Then you move on to another company, and then you move up from your Range Rover to eventually then you get a Bentley. You know, fucking after you have your Bentley, then what? Like, this literally happened to someone I know. They got the what's that Gorado? What's that Lamborghini Gorado? Whatever the fuck. They eventually got a Bentley. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? What the fuck are you gonna do with a Bentley? Seriously, why don't you just go fishing or something? Bentley, give me a break. Fucking Bentley. Who has a Bentley? Am I just babbling? I'm babbling. You dated one. Oh, yeah. Composition solid. Color great. Light source. Pick one, set shadows in perspective. Uh-oh, John's telling me what to do. It doesn't work with me, dude. As soon as someone's... Okay, wait, let me just say it. Okay, I'm going to stop being an idiot. I'm going to actually listen to what you're saying. Light source, pick one, set shadows, perspective, direction, and render highs. So here's the thing. I know exactly what you're saying, John. 100%. Kind of part of me... Well, the majority of me doesn't care to make it like a proper landscape. You know, like part of me wants to take this into like a different realm where it's not even making sense. Like it may not be clear horizon. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I know what you mean. The light, there's no real sense of light here, but like there's this guy I follow on Instagram. Let me show you. Like and I like his stuff, right? And this is probably what I would do if I took photographs and then worked from photographs and cared about making it more realistic. His name is Peter or something. He's actually from Toronto. Let me find. I only follow a couple, like 20 people or so. I'll show you this guy. And he's got a good style. He's solid. Peter, here it is. Peter Rotter. And like, I don't know if you can see this. Where's the camera? I don't know if you'll be able to see this at all. But Peter Rotter on Instagram. Okay. You could tell it's straight from photograph. Like, you can't make up that lighting. It's just too hard to envision. And it probably is hard to see just because you're looking at a screen. But he does these, very rich, simple landscapes. They're all very well painted. Like, is that a photograph? No, that's a photograph. They're very realistic, and they're beautiful. Like, those are beautiful. And I think they're very well done. But you know what it is? It's still just someone's taking a photograph, right? Like, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to come up with something fucking imagine if it's just coming from, it doesn't exist anywhere. Like, it's just coming out. It's kind of like, imagine if there's like a channeling something, and that's all I can, that's how I feel. Like, I don't want to just copy a photograph. I could do it, but then I feel like, okay, I'm trying to make money, like you're doing it for an audience so that they can buy it. And I need to work on that more, trust me. But I just feel like I gotta do, yeah. I don't know. So yeah, there's no sense of light here. It's flat and weird. One thing I will do that will make it nicer is I will go with a pencil and highlight the trees more. But I kind of feel like I'm getting close to somewhere where the patterns are becoming interesting. And I just really like Gustav Klimt's patterns in that painting. I think it's called Beaches. It's just genius. So what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to go in here and play with shapes, and maybe I can come up with something of my own that has, like, look, for example, like little bits of painting the spaces in between here and then painting negative spaces. I want that. I want to create some magic. I want to have little magic bits. I've done it before. I know I can do it. But you're right. The composition is not a traditionally pleasant composition. Like, there's no golden rule happening here. There's no like sense of proper depth so you can breathe. Like, I get all that. I get it. I see it. And that's kind of why I thought the first one was so ugly, because not only didn't have any of those things that we could traditionally feel as something good, it didn't have any, everything else was bad about it. Like, the colors were just gross and not. So you're right. So please, for me, why are you stressed by this painting? Fuck, I don't know. I can't explain it. I just, I want to do the best I can. And I look at that painting I did yesterday, the one of the hand, and I look at it, I'm kind of embarrassed how goofy it is. This thing. Like, it just, I don't even know where I put it. I thought it was in this pile here. Oh. Yeah, this one here. I did this one here. And I look at it and I go, oh, Jesus Christ. It looked like I did that when I was like 13. It's just, the hand is just, I don't know. It's just, it's almost like silly, like a bad cartoon. And so I'm kind of like, I know I can do better. You know what it is? Unless I do something I feel would be on par with like Gustav Klimt or mystical like Chagall or fucking something strong and powerful like Van Gogh, I feel it's not good enough. That's how I feel. And you know, it sounds fucking ridiculous, but believe me, I've always felt this way. I've always felt this way. I felt like I could see what they were doing. I could see the brushstrokes. I could feel it. And I always thought, well, fuck, they're just people. They were just human beings. And so I can do it too. And I'm going to try, and I'm going to try. And it's taken me decades, but I feel like I can do it. I think I have that same kind of ability that some of these guys had. They were just people. And the things we've elevated them up to be so mythical that you forget that these were just people who did some cool stuff. And once they found their thing, they stuck with it. Like Van Gogh has a very replicable style. Once he got his groove, he could fucking draw like a dog or a pop can, and it would still have that stuff to that kind of unique style, right? And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm still working towards what is my style. Like, what is... Every little fucking thing has to be perfect in its own way. And by perfect, I don't mean like anally perfect, every dot. I mean, it just has to feel right. Like, just sometimes doing that, it just feels right. And I feel like one day soon, maybe, I'll get there, maybe. And what I mean is I'll get there where I'll be satisfied. I guess that's what it comes down to. Like, where I'll feel like, okay, you've done it. And I feel like I've done that a few times, in my life. Where I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'm telling you, that's some good shit right there. And I'm a pretty tough judge, And I only have myself to sort of go, that's it. I don't need anyone else to tell me. I don't need some art critic somewhere to tell me, because most of those guys are full of shit. I feel like I can tell what is a good paint. Like, I have a thing for painters, traditional painters, I guess. I have a thing, to me, that was like the highest form of art was painting. And like Tom Thompson is one of those guys whose stuff I just look at, and I look at all the brushstrokes, and I spent many hours in front of Tom Thompson's. Many hours. I would go to the AGO, Art Gallery of Ontario, and I used to have a membership since I was a kid. My parents got me a membership, and I went to summer art schools there too. And I used to usually forget class and just walk around the art gallery, go to the Henry Moores and laugh at them because they're fucking stupid, and then go to the contemporary art stuff and just go, oh my god, this is a fucking joke. Then I'd walk into the group of 7 and say, I'm home. This is like home. If there's ever was a home, the group of 7 was my home. I felt like these were my people. And all I can think about, they're like these old dudes in these old black and white pictures, but I probably would have been cool hanging out with Tom Thompson, man. Like, I'm older than him now. Oh, sorry. People are chatting and I wasn't paying attention. Maybe overthinking it. Fucking great. He think a lot sometimes. I'm not sure who you're referring to. I can only read the past 4 chats on it. I don't know why. There's something weird going on with Facebook. Okay. Tom Thompson. Really good painter. Really good painter. Lauren Harris was not bad, but like he's just such above and beyond everybody else. So maybe what I'll do is, what if I go in here and just try to like Just create some little patterns. And maybe these will be like leaves. Yes, I am painting upside down, just in case somebody's wondering. Drawing is removal, painting is construction. Drawing is removal, painting is construction. It sounds like one of those fancy kind of like word plays, but I don't know if I agree with that. How is drawing? Wait, how is drawing removal? I don't get that. Because when I'm drawing, I'm literally, you're creating lines. I don't know. Maybe I'll learn something. See how it looks. Oh, it's still horrible. Oh, it's still bleh. Still terrible. Okay, so let's come in with something. What would it be like if I was brought in the dark, this dark purple at the top? Or light oranges? No, yeah, why would it be? That's, I don't know why. Something is calling me towards the dark. Something is also cautioning me. I don't know what it is. So I'm gonna go with this feeling. I'm just gonna go rock this a bit. I'm just gonna see what happens. What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? I'm gonna make it dark. Here we go. Starting out with this like nice turquoise bluey green sort of shit. Gouache is kind of fun. I gotta say, the thing I enjoy the most is being able to sit down. I feel like I can get a lot more done than standing up. Because I got really bad knee. After about an hour standing up, I've got what's it called? What's it? Old folks' knee, osteoarthritis. And so it starts just like a big complaining baby. But it's true. At night then I have these like crazy shooting pains where I have to like, it feels like just like shooting pain. So I'm like up all night going, oh fuck. That's what happens if I walk more than 15 minutes, my knee is gone for the next couple days. It like all becomes all inflamed. I have to ice it, take anti-inflammatories. Because not only do I have osteoarthritis, I only have about 60% of my cartilage from all my injuries I had, all these sports injuries when I was young. And the next thing is a full knee replacement, but they don't want to do that just yet. They say I should lose weight. Said, why don't you just try losing about 50 pounds first before we replace your knee? You're still young. Drawing goes from light to dark, removing the light. Drawing goes from light to dark, moving the light. Okay. Oh, I see what you mean. It's funny because I always saw drawing as adding the dark, like the color where light was nothing. But I understand what you mean. Paint goes from dark to light. I gotcha. I have turmeric. I keep it right next to my salt and pepper. I put turmeric in. Oh, I use black pepper and everything, but I use. I've got a little jar of organic turmeric, and so, for example, I used it today. I made some Thai chicken stuff, and I put it in there. I made veggie black bean burgers yesterday, and put the turmeric in. I do all that shit. Now the problem is I've had too many injuries in that knee, 4 major sports injuries. And I've had 4 operations on it, and this is the point where it's just because I only have a certain amount of cartilage left because they had to cut it away each time, and also the ligaments got torn too many times. So I could eat fucking turmeric hamburgers every day, and it's not it. I have anti-inflammatory stuff. I I even did blood platelet replacement, where they take your blood from your arm, they put it through like a centrifuge, they remove everything except for the red blood platelets, they inject it directly into your knee. They have that long fucking needle, goes right in your knee. I had that done. And that was the last thing I had done. That was done last year. It was expensive. It doesn't not cover by OHIP, which is our insurance. And he said that was that. He said there was no. Oh, so I'm talking about like the top specialist, knee specialist in Toronto. All right, this guy does like the Toronto Argonauts and that kind of stuff. And he said that. What did he say? He said that it wouldn't even be useful to have cortisone. Cortisone is something you can get these cortisone shots. They're kind of somewhat temporary, but he said the way my knee is, you know, let's do this blood plate training, like wait a year, see how it is, lose some weight. And then we'll see. It's funny because like I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do drugs. I just like to eat. That's my big weakness. I like food, but I've been on a kind of a diet for the past couple months because turns out I had crazy high blood sugar. Like I was off the charts. I was wondering where I was having all these like diabetes related symptoms. Yeah, it turns out I had type 2 to an extreme. I went to a clinic and it turned out I had 21 blood sugar. And the chart they give you only goes up to 14. Like the pamphlet goes up to 14. I was 21. So for the past, since then, which has been a couple months now, I haven't had any carbs at all. Like nothing. The most carbs I had was about 3 days ago. I had half a hamburger bun. So I've been really good with that. I actually had my first 6 months or 4 month checkup or whenever it is since I last went there next week. So I'm kind of curious to see what my blood sugar is, like my long-term blood sugar, because I know I got it down to like 11 or 12, which is good. Well, compared to 20. That's what happens when you get old. Sugar is the cause. I know exactly. Inflammation that creates the pain. I'm talking about warm weather. The three ingredients in it. Take what? All three. Yeah, black. I can't. For some reason, I got a problem with my Facebook. I can't. I can only see like the lot. Here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. See this? In my Facebook, it only shows me 1, 2, 3, 4 texts at a time. So whatever you just, Linda, whatever you said down below, it's already gone. I can't get to it. I don't know how to get to it. Facebook is being weird today. So the latest comment is loving the green blue. Everything else, I'm talking about warm, wet water with these three ingredients. So there's nothing I can read about below that. So sorry, I just didn't get to it. Okay. Yeah, greens and blues are nice, aren't they? I got the greens and blues from Monet and a little bit of Van Gogh. Those guys were both with the greens and blues, but especially Monet and a little bit of Gauguin. You know, Gauguin is someone I always liked, but I never was stopped and was in awe like I was with Van Gogh. Like I would stop and be in awe with a Van Gogh or Tom Thompson. I just stand there and go, wow, they fucking knew what they were doing. Degas is also someone who has pretty damn impressive stuff, man. Like some of his figurative work, especially the lighting is just amazing. And believe it or not, Toulouse-Lautrec, that guy had some really good talent too. I think a lot of times when you think of Toulouse-Lautrec, you think a little bit, it's a little goofy, some of the characters, but he had some pretty good skills. You know who wasn't very good? Jackson Pollock. I think he was a steamy Pollock. Garbage. Actually, the first artist that I genuinely disliked strongly was Andy Warhol. Followed closely by Sidekick Basquiat. They were just marketers. There was no real talent there. That was the period of art where I just thought, okay, things are downhill. They've lost perspective. They're just trying to be reactionary. They're trying to be avant-garde. You know, I think avant-garde is good when there's something wrong with the standard. Like when there's something wrong with the status quo. Then avant-garde is good. It's good to push the boundaries and see and explore. But when avant-garde becomes avant-garde for the sake of being special or edgy or just being different, I'm not impressed. That does not impress me at all. I believe that there can be intrinsic beauty in the same way for most people, there's intrinsic beauty in nature. Not everybody, but for most people, when you go and experience a beautiful scene, like with a waterfall or a certain sunset, there's a certain thing that triggers something into us that we've evolved to appreciate. And I think that's kind of like the kind of art that interests me. I don't care about concept art, not concept art. I don't care about performance art. Like, that's to me is like an embarrassment mostly. And other people can like it. They can go for it. Like it all you want. You know, like when I see the Yoko Ono stuff, I just think that's just like complete garbage, complete and utter silliness. Yoko Ono is the embodiment of lacking talent and being part of an art world just for the sake of, I don't know, just people shouldn't. I think people need to be more critical. People need to be more critical. I mean, not critical. They need to be a bit more, not just follow what other people tell them. You know, like have some sort of internal guidance to what. I don't know. Well, it's subjective. This is just me talking. I don't know. Everyone can have their own opinion. That's just the way I think about it. I've always thought this way. And I'm right. Is anyone even listening? Sir Dulac just nailed it. Time to stop soon. What's Sir Dulac mean? What does that mean, Sir Dulac? Sir Dulac. The fuck is Sir Dulac, man? Okay, I'm just gonna Google that, John, because it's like it sounds vaguely familiar. Sir Dulac. I mean, I know it's French. That's not the point. But is it referencing something? Sir Dulac. Is that a Toulouse-Lautrec painting? On tour, Sir Dulac. Okay, I'm going to go to images. Here, I'll show you what I'm looking for. That means on the lake, doesn't it? Sir Dulac? On the lake. Sir Dulac. Is it a painting? Oops. Oh, that's kind of a nice painting. John Royce? I kind of like that. If that's a color, Sir Dulac is a color? I don't know. What. This is the one problem with the web chat or chatting is like you can't really. I don't really know it. Like I don't. I mean, John said something about Sir Dulac, and I thought it was like maybe something to do with Toulouse-Lautrec. What the fuck do I know? Okay, I'm not quite finished yet. It needs a bit of strong contrast of these lines, and I'm getting close. I'm getting close to something up here. Like, I know this is a really goddamn busy painting. I know I got that, but I think I might smooth out something here in the middle. I'm definitely gonna refine. Well, I don't know. Okay, here's another painting. It's worth checking out. I don't know why. Yeah, on the lake, but I don't know what you mean. Like, I don't know the reference. Like, you said something like, yeah, you nailed it on the lake, but I don't even know what that means. Okay, I'm kind of losing my mind here because this fucking ringing is getting loud. But there is a painter who I would love to meet, and he was in Canada for a while, and I actually did a painting based off one of his paintings, because he did a painting near where I live. Peter Doig. And he did a painting of this house in Rosedale in Toronto with all of these branches and trees in front of it. And I just loved it. So I'm kind of thinking a little bit of Peter Doig. A little bit of the house in Rosedale. That's it. So you should take a look at that painting if you can. The house in Rosedale. It's a beautiful painting, man. And I think I like Peter Doig, man. He's like a more modern painter. His stuff is sort of like it's representational. but it's definitely has a kind of, oh, I'm starting to lose my momentum here. Okay, I think I need to fix these things here. Peter Doig, take a look. Oh, that nailed horizon. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, I think that helped, putting that little bit in there. I think actually I'll use paint for this because I don't know if the pencils will show up. So I'm going to go and add a stronger edge. So my thing's getting really loud. I'm not sure if it's like, I'm going to try to just keep going and try to ignore it. So I'll just talk. Look how fat that tree is. That tree's too fat right there. Let's just thin it out. There we go. Thin it out. Whoa. Oh, you son of a bitch, brain. What is... You know what else I think might be good? Okay, there's a couple things I think could improve this. The patterns. I think I should have like layers of patterns. These patterns should be different from like a stretch here and then like a stretch here and then a stretch here. That's what I should do. Okay, I gotta take like a 10-minute break. I gotta go. Just it's gotten super loud and I need to go and like rinse my brushes and get clean water. So I'm gonna take a break for about 10 minutes or so. And yeah, exactly. Now is the edge you travel to. I hear you, man. I mean, you're right about what you said before. So I think I could use more definition in the trees, and I'm gonna play with the patterns. But I'm gonna take a break. I'll be back in soon. Oh no, it's not done yet. It's almost. I can take it to a level. I know it. I can just feel it. Anyhow, I'll talk to you. I'll see you guys soon. Okay.